So for the rest of the tutorials, I'm using a database that's found on the lab page under Getting Started called S7 Marks. When you open this database, make sure you have saved it, not just opened it, because if you just open it, it will not let you create reports or forms later on. And that's important. If you see a warning here that says read only needs to be saved, make sure you save it now, or else you will not be able to continue. But the second part of our tutorial is going to cover queries. To open the database of students, you just double click on the table students here, which will provide you with this pre-made list of students with their marks. A query in a database is sort of like asking the database a question, such as if you wanted to know how many students were in a certain class, you would use a query to search a certain class name, and it would tell you the results, which would be how many students are in that class. There are two different types of query. There is a basic query and an advanced query. The basic query is basic and easy. It's what we would normally suggest you would use on something like the lab test. It is simple, fast, but you can't save it. So to do a quick query, you would just right click in one of the fields you wanted to search, such as in the name. And you'd see this option here. Since we're in a text field, it says text filters. You have filters for equals, begins with, contains, ends with, and all of their opposites. If we wanted to see how many entries have a certain name, like Abby Good, we could hit equals here and write in Abby Good. It would have to match exactly how her name is written in the table, but we would hit OK. Since she's entered 3 times into the table for 3 different classes, there are 3 results. It's very easy to just count the 3 results here, but that's not always going to be a viable option. So make sure when you're doing quick queries that you're looking at the bottom corner down here, where it tells you how many records are currently being showed. There's 1 of 3. To turn this filter back off, in case you wanted to search for something else, you would just click the toggle filter button at the top here, which would set it back. Numbers work the exact same way. If you wanted to search for grades above 75, you could right click in the grades and select greater than. Very important to notice here is that this is not actually less than and not actually greater than. These are less than and equals to and greater than and equals to. This is very important because if you were searching a database for numbers and you wanted to know exactly how many are greater than a number and you use this, it wouldn't technically be right because this is greater than and equals to, which does show up on the lab test a couple times. So if you see the word inclusive, you will use these because it includes the number you're searching. If you do not see the word inclusive, you may want to adjust your number a slight amount so that it doesn't include the number when you use these. So we'll hit greater than. We are going to search greater than 75, which will now show all of the grades that are higher than 75, and there are 23 of them. You can do queries onto queries, so if I wanted to keep searching, I could right click maybe in class name and search for certain classes. You can also right click specifically on a field you want to see, and it has some shortcuts here. As I said, basic queries are good for when you're doing something like a lab test where you just need to see an answer very fast, but they're not what you're going to be doing on the assignment because they're not savable. In order to finish the assignment, you need to have 2 saved queries. To save a query, you would have to do it as an advanced query. To do an advanced query, you go to the Advanced tab here and click Advanced Filter Sort Here you can see that it has saved the last thing I queried, which was test grade greater or equals 75. For the assignment, we want you to search multiple comparisons, such as and or. If we wanted to select two different fields and search them both, we could just enter or select another field from here. We are going to search the class name. When you're working with text in a query, you have to put what you're searching for in quotation marks because it's text. So open quote. We are going to search for CS space 100. Lowercase cs because that's how it's written in the table. Close quote. This should give us the grades greater or equal 75 in the class CS100. We could check this by clicking the toggle filter button here. And we would see that there's 7 of them, where only CS100 is showing and only grades 75 or higher are showing. It creates this tab here, our students filter. To go back to it, we would just click here. There are other things in queries called booleans, which are true or false things. The two booleans that you would be interested in using are and or. You would use and primarily on text values and primarily on number values and or primarily on text values. If we wanted to see the grades that are greater than equal 75 but also less than 90, we could write in the criteria for a test grade grade equals 75 and less than equal 90. This would adjust our search so that it only shows numbers in the range of 75 and 90. If we wanted to see two different classes, we couldn't use and because there will never be a class that's named both CS100 and another class. So we'll need to use or. One of the other classes in the table is BIOL 200, so we'll go BIOL space 200 in quotation marks. To see what the result of this is, we'd click toggle filter, and now there are grades from CS100 and Biology 200. It will never show a grade less than 75, and it will never show a grade greater than 90, and there are 9 of them. So for the assignment, you'll need 2 queries. Each query should have 2 different comparisons. So 2 fields being compared, or 2 booleans within a single field for 2 comparisons. In order to save your query for the assignment, we go back to the table or the filter and click Advanced and click Save as Query. And now this search is saved to here so that if we click on the query, it will always do that search. And we could turn it off here and do anything else, and it will never change this query. There is a section on advanced queries on the lab pages that cover how to use built-in functions. I'm not going to do that here, but you will want to look at that for the assignment. The first query needs to simply be 2 comparisons. The second query needs to be 2 comparisons and needs to use built-in functions such as if or mid.